Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are in the world. This is John with Tommy's Top Picks here to bring you a bit of a collector tutorial. I noticed on Reddit there are a lot of new players and collectors coming into the Flesh and Blood space, so I thought it would be a good time to walk through some of the historic nature of Flesh and Blood and the additions and how they've done it, so that new collectors can kind of get their feet under them when it comes to collecting Flesh and Blood. It is a game that evolved in response to players and collectors, especially in the earliest days. There was a lot of variations that happened over the different editions, and if you're not familiar, if you're new to the space, it can be confusing, and it's easy to end up with the wrong thing when you don't realize exactly how all the different rarities worked and all the stuff worked at the different points in time. So I have some samples here from older stuff. I don't have obviously everything because I came in later into the game, but I learned this stuff over time, and I thought it'd be useful to share. So let's dive in. Let's walk through it. So as you probably know, the first three sets were WTR, Arc, and Crew. They all have various unique qualities in the way they marked their cards, and we're going to walk through each one. So let's start with WTR. So, for the collector, you're primarily going to focus on cold foils. This is not a cold foil. This is a rainbow foil. The cold foils of these are like $10,000, $20,000, something like that. I don't have one, so I can't share that with you. But I did want to show you one thing about this. So on WTR, let's see if I can get it to focus. Hold on. There we go. You'll notice the rarity symbol is a yellow diamond. And in this case, you can't... I think you can see that there's no letter inside of it. So WTR Unlimited Edition, these are the less rare. Foil, I'm not sure if you can tell that, but it's foil. Non-cold foil, Fable. This is what they look like. This is how they work. They have the diamond. They have no letter in it. And this is how they look. Now, this is a little bit confusing, and you'll see. WTR First Edition. Oh, here's one thing that you can note about it. The date is 2020. WTR First Edition has the rarity with no symbol around it, right? No color, no circle, nothing, right? 2019. And this is what a first edition looks like. Another thing that's notable is some of them have pink strips. Not all of them, but some of them have these pink strips. And here's another example of a pink strip. Same thing, right? It has the R, WTR dash, you see the number dash R, but no symbol around it, right? Again, 2019. So this is how they did in 2019. They had no symbol for first edition. They had symbol for non-first edition, for unlimited, okay? That's in WTR. Now, Arc, very similar, but let's be super confusing and tell you the example of where it's not. No symbol for the Fable. And this is not a first edition, even though you would think, based on what we just said, that it is a first edition. This is just a rainbow foil. Now you can definitely tell this is not a first edition because it's rainbow versus cold foil. We'll walk through that difference. This you can actually kind of see the foiling on the metal in the eye. So this is a rainbow foil. We'll walk into a cold foil in a second. But again, to be a little confusing, this is a first edition cold foil. You see how the border shines in this silver? It's a cold foil. So this is a first edition Arc cold foil. Note, empty symbol, no symbol, just common, right? This one you would think would have a symbol because this is an unlimited edition, but it doesn't because it's confusing. Something else you'll note, WTR and Arc both have S rarity, which were super rares at the time. They got rid of this for Crew. No longer existed. They changed a few things for Crew, and we'll walk into that in a second. But, so here's two forked lightnings, right? One's the first edition, one's unlimited. Which is which? If you follow the modern, I guess the last three, oh god, it's so confusing. The middle block, Monarch, Tales of Aria, and Everfest, you would say this is first edition and this is unlimited, but it was reversed back then, all right, for Arc and WTR. So this is actually the unlimited, and this is the first edition. It's just how it is. I know it's confusing. There's a chart out there, actually. I'll post a link to it in the description. So here we go. We got a rainbow foil Voltic Bolt. What is it? It's first edition, right? So WTR and ARC pretty much follow the same thing. They both have super rares. That's that. There's not much more to it. But then once we get to crew, it shifts. That's when we start seeing some other things happen. So this is, oh, come on, focus. This is the first time, oh no, it's kind of hard to see. Oh God, it's really hard to see, isn't it? Okay, can you kind of see that? It's a hollowed out diamond. This is crew, unlimited, again, not a cold foil. You can see the foiling on the heart itself, but not on the borders. So this is unlimited, Fable, hollowed out diamond, right, in crew. And crew starts this process that you're probably more familiar with if you're into the more recent sets. Crew, what is this, first or unlimited? What do you think? It's foil, right? That doesn't matter. What is this? What do you think? Leave it in the comments. Nope, too late. I'm going to tell you. It's first edition. So first edition started to fill in the symbol in the rarity, and then the non-filled in were unlimited. Okay, so you see the L is in the hollow circle versus the M is in a filled in circle, and that's how they started in crew, and that continued through Monarch, Tales of Aria, and up until Uprising, where they got rid of unlimited. So here's the example. Here's Monarch. Here's Tales of Aria. So this is an unlimited card. This is a first edition card. Actually curious why I have an unlimited Tales of Aria. Must have drafted it or something, because I definitely didn't buy any unlimited Tales of Aria. Monarch, same thing. Filled in, first edition. Not filled in, unlimited. All right. So now that I have you successfully confused, this is ARC, first edition. You can see again, common is right there, but no symbol around it. Something else to note, if you're collecting, not all cold foils are made the same. This is less true today because I think they kind of figured out that people want them to be special. But historically, there were cold foil promos that they would give out and give out and give out. The old school P, right, not filled in. The new ones have it filled in. I don't think I have one with me here. But they were, if it was a promo, essentially you could trust that it was going to be reprintable, like there would be more of them. You would see them in different types of events. They have done less of that now. They seem to have a monthly set, and then they don't do them again. Since 2.0, I think during kind of the Monarch Tales block, they did it more excessively. Again, there was some confusion around supply at the time, what was actually in demand. And so your first three sets, your WTR, ARC, and Crew, these were rare. They were rare first edition. If you look now, boxes are like 3K for these, 1.5 for these, and I think like 500 for these or 250, something like that. I think it's 250. I haven't actually looked at Crew in a while. So relatively low, but still first edition boxes are pricey. Unlimited are also rare. The ARC, we see at $100 a box, give or take. It keeps pushing upward. WTR, they did a second big unlimited wave for a major event. So there's excess capacity on this, but it's running out too for unlimited. ARC, again, is running out probably the fastest, so its price is the highest, and then Crew, there's still plenty of unlimited. Part of that is because these are draftable, and that's not. This is a supplemental set. So the draftable ones kind of run out first. They did extras of these because it's a good intro product, but ultimately going forward, the understanding is that there will not be more of the unlimited either. Now, LSS reserves the right to reprint whatever the heck they want that's unlimited. The thing they have promised they will never reprint is cold foils. Well, this isn't a good example because of promo, but cold foils from the sets, the first editions. They will not reprint those. They've given their word on that, and I trust them on that. So if If you're looking for things to target that are collectible, cold foils from these first sets that are first edition. Uh, First edition was the only place you could get cold foils through these sets, including the next three. But that is changed as of Uprising 2.0 was released, right? Which some of you may know about. And at that point, they introduced a new type of cold foil. Technically, it was introduced in Everfest. They did one. It was Starvo. He was a Marvel. But they introduced the Rarity symbol, which is a little triangle, and it's purple. Sorry, can't quite get it to focus. There we go. Triangle is purple for the Marvel after Starvo and Everfest. So that moved on. Beyond that point, every single set is going to have Marvels. I suspect they will all be cold foil. And as of 2.0, there's no more editions. It's one type. You will have the box of Dynasty, the box of Uprising. There will not be a first edition with cold foils and a unlimited edition that comes later that doesn't have cold foils. Market dynamics got messed up from the original plan that was in place for these ones, where they did first edition and then an unlimited release, first edition unlimited release. Tales of Aria, I guess technically I have some of those cards here, first edition unlimited. And then there was an Everfest as well, which has a first edition and theoretically an unlimited. The word is it's been printed. No one has seen it. It was supposed to be released in September. It did not get released. So if you want something odd, that is one of them. Everfest Unlimited does not exist. Tales of Aria Unlimited has been, I'm sure it exists and there's plenty of it, it's just not purchased a lot. So actual individual cards can sometimes cost more than the first edition Tales of Aria cards, because they printed so much first edition that everyone just gets first edition. So on the singles, you don't really see them on the market that much. Now, I do not expect them to be more valuable because I'm pretty sure they printed more in Unlimited than they did in first edition, which we don't know that for sure. Even on these, we don't fully understand the Unlimited runs. We do know they're out of print because they released a notice about that, the Unlimited. But we don't know their print run numbers. We do know the print run numbers for the first editions on these. Those were released. They were not released for going forward because, like I said, there was a distribution issue that made them miscalculate how much demand there was. So, targeting the highest collectible value, obviously the oldest stuff in first edition, Unlimited being also interesting but not as promising, not as guaranteed to be rare. Again, first edition in Arc and first edition in Crew, those are your kind of gold standards, right? Call it gold, silver, bronze, if you will. This had the least in first edition, this had the second least, and this had, I think this actually might have the same print run as this. It may be a little bit more, I could be wrong on that. But if you check in the collector's section, there's an area that tells you how much was printed for the first editions of these three. Once you move into Monarch, the cold foils are the thing to target. Those are only in first edition again. Typically speaking, those are the things that are the rarest. There are a lot of them because Monarch, there was a huge print run for more so than demand. Going forward, Marvels and extended arts are the type of thing that are rare. We have a couple of different examples. Actually, hold on, let me grab one. So we have this type, which is Starvo is like this as well from Everfest. It's a special type of Marvel for a hero. I think it's both sides, right? And it has the little symbol, the triangle on the bottom. And then you have cold foils that are not equipment, like Frost Hex. Those are typically 1 or 2 cards per set, starting in, I think that was in Uprising. Maybe it was Tails. I think it was Tails, yeah, because Tails had Channel Lake Frigid. So they have a few, and then the cycle of the Candlehole Keep and all that stuff as well. So they have a few cards in each set, starting kind of in that Tales of Aria area that are cold foil. Technically, Monarch had them too. Doomsday had a cold foil. So some playable cards were in cold foil, I guess, starting in kind of Monarch era. And those are all only available in the first edition for those 3, Monarch, Tales of Aria, and Everfest. Going forward, they will have both cold foil and non-cold foils in every normal box sort of situation. So you won't necessarily get all of them in every box, obviously, but point being is there's no first edition and non-first edition, no thing to target to get the cold foil. So again, just to overview, first editions on these, very rare, very expensive, kind of hard to come by. They're at market lows right now since I've been in, and I came in around this time, Monarch, because there's just been kind of a downturn in all the markets around collecting, and there was a bit of a uncertainty when this stuff happened around the print runs. So a lot of investors got out, a lot of collectors got out. I think that is turning around because we are now seeing that this, as I covered in my market update, has disappeared. There is very few boxes of WTR still on the market at this point. They jumped up from, on TCG Player, from like sub 3,000 up to, I think it's at 5,000 or 6,000 now on TCG Player. You can still get boxes on eBay for $3,000 to $4,000 range, but they are running out. There's only a handful. This will follow suit eventually because the print run is only a little bit bigger. These were when the game was being established, and they just didn't have demand. They didn't know what it was going to be like. They did their best at figuring it out at very early days, right? By this point, they kind of had a feel for it, and then it went out of control, overprinted on these. So think of these as like your Magic Ice Age, if you will, where they kind of printed like crazy, and there's just a billion boxes out there. This is better than Ice Age, I'll say. So over time, they will eat up that supply. I do imagine they will go away, but it's very different than these first three. So yeah, that's the overview of the collectability of it. I'll post a link to that chart if I can find it in the description below, but it is helpful for knowing these rarity symbols. It is confusing, I understand that. They just adjusted with each set, and then they kind of settled on what the pattern was there, and then they ended up getting rid of unlimited, so it didn't matter as much going forward. But it is something that is confusing if you're new to collecting in this space. You can get the wrong thing and think you got something valuable, and end up with an unlimited edition by accident, because it looks like what first edition looks like for these later sets. So I hope that was helpful. Let me know in the comments if you thought this was useful. Share it with your friends if you know people that are collecting or into the collection of this. But it looks like this era is I guess overprinted is coming to an end, because the Uprising boxes have been pretty stable. The collectible items have been stable. These Majestics, Marvels have been very stable. I think they kind of figured it out. I think they're going to do well with this going forward. So I think collectors are starting to gain confidence and come back in, as indicated by the lack of WTR boxes and drying up of ARC as well. So both of those first editions are going away. So people are, new collectors are coming in and they're saying, I want to own a stake in some of the early stuff, which is what I did. So I understand that. I'm completely in the same boat. I did the same thing. I have sealed product for the early stuff, because that's kind of how you kind of mark the beginning and hold on to it, and it's the rarest. So it's one of the things to target when collecting. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments. I'll try to get to them. Well, no, I will get to them because I love responding to comments, I'll be honest. And I hope this was useful. If you found it useful, hit the subscribe button, share it with some friends, let people know about it. I do hope this is helpful for new collectors in this space. It is a bit confusing to navigate, but I try to do my best. I hope I can help you guys out. So anyways, hope you guys are cracking packs, collecting what you love, playing games that you love, and having a good time with this. And until next time, have a good one.